Watching Donald Trump attempt anything regarding trade policies or economics, it honestly reminds me of watching a chimpanzee attempt to solve an algebraic equation. And now the Senate parliamentarian just retaliated against Trump with a brutal surprise bombshell. Now, it's no secret Donald Trump is a pathetic joke when it comes to anything involving the economy. Trump was all obsessed with tariffs. What he's saying now, it's beyond parody.
We still don't know. We don't have the clarity on what you're going to do with these expiration of these pauses. July 9?
No, I thought I just said it. No, I thought I just said it. You ready?
You're going to send the letters.
I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars, So we give Japan no cars. They won't take our cars, right? And yet we take millions and millions of their cars into the United States. It's not fair. And I explained that to Japan, and they understand it. And we have a big deficit with Japan, and they understand that too. Now, we have oil. They could take a lot of oil. They could take a lot of other things,
But still, more and more senators are speaking out specifically against Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. For example, Tom Tillis, who recently announced that he wouldn't be running for re-election in 2026, seems to be done caring entirely.
They can't find a hole in my estimate. So what they told me is that, yeah, it's rough, but North Carolina's used the system. They're going to have to make it work. All right. So what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore?
Still, others have harsh words as well.
But this bill actually has a tell right in it. Page 754 of this bill is the reality check on whether or not they're running up the debt by trillions. We know they're running up the debt by trillions because they say so in this bill. You can play Senate procedural fakery. You can wave magic wands around numbers all day long. But someday, soon, you hit reality. And you hit reality in the real world of markets and selling treasury bonds and having a legal debt limit. If this did not raise the debt by trillions, they would not need to raise the debt limit by trillions.
But as if things weren't bad enough, now the Senate parliamentarian just retaliated against Trump with a shocking surprise bombshell. Take a look at this. Tonight, the Senate parliamentarian, the chamber's official rule keeper, dealt a surprise blow to Trump's big, beautiful bill, exposing a desperate and slimy scheme to win the vote of Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski. Here's what happened. Senate Republicans snuck in provisions at the last minute to jack up Medicaid payments specifically for Alaska and Hawaii. Their goal, buy Murkowski's vote by giving Alaska a sweetheart deal, hoping she'd ignore the massive Medicaid and SNAP cuts buried in the rest of the bill. Murkowski had been on the fence, and GOP leaders were sweating bullets to get her on board. But in a shocking twist, the Senate parliamentarian ruled those Alaska carve-outs violated the chamber's strict budget rules, known as the Byrd Rule, which prevents unrelated goodies from getting slipped into bills passed with a simple majority. With those Medicaid bribes axed, Murkowski's support could be on shaky ground again, putting Trump's entire plan at risk. It wasn't just Alaska pork that got chopped. Other shady provisions, like attempts to block Biden-era rules, making it easier for seniors and people with disabilities to enroll in Medicaid, were also declared out of bounds. Meanwhile, Republicans did manage to keep some controversial items in play. Provisions denying Medicare and ACA subsidies to non-citizens, including refugees and asylum seekers, were ruled acceptable, clearing the way for Trump's allies to push those measures forward. Democrats, seizing on the parliamentarians' rulings, are branding the package as a big, beautiful political betrayal, saying Trump's plan is stuffed with backroom deals that hurt working families and reward political loyalty. And with Senate Republicans still scrambling to secure enough votes for final passage, today's bombshell from the Senate Parliamentarian could mean the difference between Trump's biggest legislative victory or a humiliating defeat. Stay with us for more updates on this fast-moving story. Well, at the end of the day, once again, the Trump administration desperately wants to just violate the rules. They want to warp the rules to match their version of reality. However, reality is rejecting Donald Trump and his vicious agenda. This type of behavior is pathetic, but unfortunately, it's come to be expected when you're dealing with someone like Donald Trump.